Welcome to Your Soul Wisdom, hosted by Yana Amor Manocas. In each episode, we invite you on a transformative journey delving into the profound mysteries and wisdom of the soul. Join us as we explore a wide array of spiritual topics and sacred practices that nurture and heal the soul, from reincarnation and soul contracts to the enigmatic experiences of womb alchemy and astral travel. Our discussions are designed to enlighten, inspire, and deepen your understanding of your own soul's journey. With Your Soul Wisdom, nothing is off limits. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Your Soul Wisdom. We have today one of our returning favorites, and you're all of our guests are our favorites, but we love you, Amber. Amber Clements. Amber, you came back previously on episode 144, I believe it was. So everybody, if you haven't watched that one, go back to that one and then come back to here. But for all the newbies that don't know anything about Amber, Amber is the founder and director of the Australian College of Human Design, if I'm saying that correctly. Amber, you're an educator and author. You're actually running a course on human design right now, which you do frequently. I mean, two of your students, Lauren and Rachel, rave about your course in human design. You, what is your book on, Amber?
Oh, it's about a particular type of human design. So,
because you're a reflector.
yes.
So is it on a reflector?
That's it.
Love that. Okay. And so can you give our audience who may not know much about human design, and again, watch episode 144 for the different types of, what do you call them? The different types of
humans, basically. Yeah.
Of humans. Okay.
Yeah. One of the differentiators is type. That's a big one.
Is there like a cliff note of what human design is before we really get into our conversation?
Yeah, look, absolutely. I can just do a quick summary just to give everybody an understanding of, without going too deep, is essentially human design. It tells us about the fact that we are actually quite different in the way that we energetically show up in the world. And there's lots of different layers in this, but generally there's about 5 different energies or energy types that we each fit into. And this is not to put us into a box. It's really just to say that we operate in a slightly different way. So these 5 different types, or technically 4, but 2 of them are very similar, means that the way that we operate, it's a little bit different. We've got slightly different purpose energetically, how we respond to the world. And so my very quick analogy is, and I may have said this last time, but I think it's a good way to snapshot it for anyone that doesn't know it, is that imagine that life was a stage show, and 2 of the types, which are called manifesting generators and generators, are the actors on stage. It's their show, it's their journey. We're all here to watch them. They're here to find their role and do a good job of it. Then we have the manifestors, who are about 9% of people. They're like the producers. They're really good at coming in and getting the show started. They're initiating it. They're bringing people together, and then they kind of get it started, and then they go off and maybe start another show somewhere else. So there's about 9% of them. Then we have
Kylie.
That's Kylie. Yes, that's right. Then we have the projectors. And projectors, they're like the directors. They're really good at seeing those actors on the stage and understanding how they can give a better performance, so how they can utilize their own skills and gifts more effectively so that they perform better, or they live better, so to speak. So they're called the projectors, and they're about 22% of people. And then we have the reflectors, which is what I am, which is a little bit unique. And there's only 1% of us, and we're like the audience. We're not even the show, but we're really good at seeing the overall performance. We're really good at seeing what's working, what's not. We can let people know if the show is going well, or maybe it's not going so well, but only if people ask. So otherwise, we just sit there and get to watch and, throw the tomatoes at people if we need to, or cheer. And essentially that's what my book was about, just that little 1%, which is similar to me. But that's kind of it. Does that make sense as a snapshot of energetically we kind of have this different purpose? But there's lots of layers under that as well.
Oh, yeah. You describe it really well. And I remember you using that same example in episode 144, where it helps you like piece, kind of without knowing anything, you kind of know what everyone's kind of role is. Our last episode, though, that we recorded was all on memories. And Amber, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the memory of you being on this podcast last time. And we're talking about the Penter and how you're like, oh, that's Amanda and Kylie and Lauren and Rachel. You're all these beautiful parts of the Penter. And Yana, you are not.
She's obviously really moved through it, as you can see.
Yeah, she's totally
over it.
It hasn't
I'm
stuck at
sorry if
all,
I
and
scarred
she's
you.
let it go. It's
Totally,
been helpful for
no.
us to understand the dynamic, though, so thanks.
And I love you, Amber, and your information was amazing. But that will always stick with me because I'm like, well, what about me?
No, all she meant was that it'll be more difficult for you. Do you know what I mean? And maybe it is, but you are working through it beautifully, honey bunny, and that's all it is. It doesn't mean you can't do something.
Of course. You know,
it
I'm just making light. I'm making light fun of it.
Yeah.
But today we're talking about a different aspect to human design. And so can you kind of guide us into that?
Well, I thought what would be really interesting is just to dive a little bit deeper into understanding that not only are we these types, but we're actually all very, very unique and all very, very individual, which we probably already know about ourselves anyway. But human design shows us essentially that we're not designed to operate the same in multiple ways, like not just the fact that we've got these different types. We've got different ways of responding to life. We've got different ways of attracting in. There's actually unique differences in the way that we digest food so that our brain operates, functions more optimally so that we can sort of take in and operate from a higher level of ourselves or a higher version of ourselves. We're actually here to share things in a different way. So really human design is just showing us, we call it actually the science of differentiation for a reason. It's really showing us that we are all extraordinarily different individuals, and that when we start trying to copy other people, do something that worked for somebody else and wonder why it doesn't work for us, it's the reason why. So by understanding this kind of uniqueness about ourselves, we can start to go, okay, so what's best for me as an individual? And then I can be the optimal version of myself when I do that.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because even like in today's time, everybody's on social media. And so you're always like, oh, like if you're using it for work, you're trying to like think what should I share? And then you see somebody else who's sharing the same work, and what posts would have been so successful for them. Like I could sit there and I can go, oh, that I can't, that's not natural for me to share that or to post that or to whatever. And so that is such a valid and huge point that you have to do your own thing. You have to do what feels right for you.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it doesn't connect, and it almost feels like it's not a successful connection, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. And I think what's really interesting that beyond type, we have this thing called authority, which is like our own inner decision-making process. Now, most of us are kind of taught through our lives to get into our brains, right, into our minds. Like the smarter we are, the more we use our mind, we almost value that more, we reward that. But actually, decision-making for ourselves really comes from a place within our body. And for a lot of people, about 78% of people, that is from our gut, right? So it's that feeling in your gut, you're trusting your gut, a decision comes along, and instead of going, I wonder whether that's right for me, it's really what does your gut say? And in that moment, if you pay attention and you have this particular thing, your gut's saying, yes, that's it. You don't need to know more. You don't need to know if mentally it's a good thing or not. Your body has said yes, or your body said no, it's rejected it. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense. It's really about trusting what your body tells you. So in this particular instance, we call this authority sacral authority. And as I said, about 78% of people have it. And so instead of really getting caught up in our minds, which most of us do, it's really about going, okay, well, that's interesting that I think that and I feel that. Like think about a new job offer. Let's say you get this job offer, someone gets a job offer and say it's pretty good money. There's lots about it that sound nice. So you're mentally going, oh, this sounds good. I should be doing this. And oh, this would, I'd be prestigious if I have this job. And this kind of really plays into how we mentally think about it. But at some level, the body's going, ooh, you can feel it when you really tune in. Your gut's going, no, that's not for me. But often it's really quiet. because our mind is so loud, and we've really learned to lean into the mind. And there's nothing wrong with the mind as a tool that helps us think and, process and enjoy. But it actually is our body, the quiet whisper from that gut, that is actually telling you what is best in your best interest. And it knows beyond the mind, right? It's a body knowing that's far, far, far more intelligent than what our mind can do. Our mind can only kind of argue backward and forward about something. So it's, it's like,
and it can teach.
Yeah. And it can teach. Oh, I mean, it can do some great stuff. I'm not by no means putting down our minds are incredible tools, but they are for decision making not necessarily useful to us, because often we get so caught up in all sorts of things that really thinking about things that don't necessarily matter or are important for us in that moment. It's like that body intelligence. So
I was just thinking, but there's no types that actually benefit from mind processing. There's zero types.
None
no
at
matter
all.
what
Zero
you are.
types.
And some of these types get really quite nuanced. There are people that need to say they will be able to hear what their truth is, but they need to hear it in their own words. And then when they hear the sound of that, then they know that that's the answer. So it can get a little bit like that. But there's no mind decision making at all in human design. So that is interesting.
Okay, but how about like impulse? People who are instant, like they get asked something or offered something, or there's an opportunity, and they're like, "Oh my god, this sounds great! I'm in."
Yeah.
Does this fall? No, I don't know.
Well,
is that excitement?
So
good question, Yana.
Yeah, it's a really good question.
Asking for a friend. Asking for a friend.
What was that?
I'm asking for a friend.
I love it. It's a really good question, because the answer is, as I've said in the beginning, there is no one answer for everybody. So it depends on certain things in your chart. As I said, sort of about 78% of people will be able to trust their gut instinct. But many of those people actually, even though their gut's saying yes or no right now, they have this aspect that we call emotional authority. Now, I won't go into the technical detail of that, but all that, yes.
So Yana, Amanda, actually, we've all got emotional authority. But
emotional authority.
We've all got emotional
authority. Oh my goodness, I need to leave.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
We all have emotional authority, but Kylie is a manifestor, so no sacral.
Okay, great. Okay, all right.
And we're all generators except for Lauren's manifesting generator.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, well, let me explain your emotional authority, because that's huge, and just over 50% of people have this emotional authority. It's a huge amount of people. So, as a generator, which is what I was talking about, so the four of you here, 78% of people have this gut instinct, right? This gut truth. So you're designed to listen to it. So right now, I say to you here, do you want to have some eggs and bacon? And depending on what you like and don't like, your gut's going to go yes or no. Yeah. Now, it doesn't matter so much about eggs and bacon. If you don't like it, if it wasn't right for you to eat, you eat it. You might get a sore tummy. No big deal. But let's say it's a job opportunity, and I've put it on you right now. Do you want this job? Yes or no? Now, usually, if you're not emotional authority, you could check into your gut. Yes, no. And if whatever your gut says, that's the right thing for you to do by trusting that. But because you're emotional, you've got this beautiful little thing called what we call emotional waves. In other words, you're designed, you are born to be emotional.
Yeah.
You are
I love the
designed to have
beautiful little thing. I do not have that relationship with either of my emotional waves currently, but whatever. Cool. Let's call it beautiful.
Well, you're emotional. They're a beautiful thing. These emotional ups and downs are actually emotional intelligence, right? In the sense that, let's say this decision, I've offered you a job, and in that moment, your gut, let's say all of you, your gut says, oh, yes. But what I would say is then you need to go and wait. At least sleep on it, maybe give it more time. A week might be nice. And what you're doing is your emotions sometimes will cause you to make emotionally based decisions, because you're potentially emotionally high or low. You might not even realize it. So when you're emotionally high, right, you're feeling good, and I say, hey, do you want this job? There's a good chance you're going to go, yeah, let's do it, right? Woohoo! And then you wake up tomorrow and you go, oh my gosh, what have I just committed to? Because emotionally, when you felt good, it did feel right, but it actually isn't the right thing for you. So what we would say, if you said, yay, that sounds great, but can I let you know tomorrow? Then you give yourself the chance tomorrow to wake up and go, oh, do I want that job? Hell no. Okay, right. This is not a yes right now. So what it's doing is it's allowing you to check in. It's the same as when we're emotionally low. When we're emotionally low, we tend to let things go, right? So I offer you the job and you're in a bad place. You're like, no, I don't want the job. No, I'm not feeling great. That sounds, but then you wake up the next morning, you're like, oh my goodness, my body really
What did I say
wishes,
no to?
yes. So what it is emotionally, there's these beautiful ups and downs, which are designed for you to feel through your decisions. That's what it's about. Totally not mental, right? Feeling what's right for you. When I feel good, does this feel right? When I feel low, does this feel right? When I feel whatever, does this feel right? That's what it's about. It's emotionally deciding what is right for you. Does that make sense for those that maybe don't know? Yeah. And do you?
but
do,
can I?
Yeah.
It makes sense. You just don't like it.
Well, here's the thing, though. What I've noticed with me, who clearly I'm an emotional whatever. What was it called? Emotional
Authority.
Manifest.
You have an emotional
authority.
wave.
Okay.
Yep.
That wave sometimes can wave for a while.
Yes.
And so when it comes to big decisions, buying a house, getting a new job, even buying a car, right? A car, like you can change your car next month if you really wanted to. It's not like a make or break or like till death do us part. For me, big things like that actually feel like it's the biggest thing. And even if I love it, it takes me a while for me to figure out, is this the right decision for me? Because there's so much emotion that is like at the forefront that I'm scared to make a decision one way or the other. Is that like the similar?
Yes.
Like, what do you do? What
So
do you do in those situations?
that's a really good point for you when you're feeling through that, right? Allow you might need to take much longer. That's totally natural. You're waiting till there is no more emotional charge in the decision.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling, I don't know, and then one day you wake up and you're like, let's just do it. Let's do it. Or no. It's like you're waiting till that, when you're saying that emotional kind of instability feeling that you were feeling, that overwhelm, you're waiting for that to stop.
Okay, so to give you some context, when I bought my home and I loved it, at the closing, the other lawyer mentioned something small where it was like an extra $400, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things. And I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm done. I'm walking.
I think that's something a little bit different.
Because there was so much energy and emotion wrapped around the entire thing, and the severe, like the bigness of buying a home, that it was like I was so emotionally imbalanced where I was like, I was scared to make that move, even though I was making the move. Of course, it turned out to be a beautiful thing, but in those moments, I could have easily sabotaged my beautiful home and not have had it, and that's kind of like unnerving a little bit.
I think it's also allowing yourself to know that this emotional feeling that you have is just all very natural, and not it's allowing yourself to feel and allow yourself to process that without having judgment of it, and without feeling like you've got to, I should be this or I should be that, or I shouldn't feel, if you need to go and have find a room with lots of padding and pillows and just thump around a bit, and just to let things through. I think that's important. I think it's not judging ourselves on the fact that we feel that way. It's very natural. 50% of people have this. So, it's allowing your process, but also getting to know your process. Really getting to know it.
I'm the same, Yana.
But could that
I can totally relate to that story, and I can totally relate to being really very grounded for 98% of something really quite tense, and then in the last 2%, when it's not even that I can see the finish line, it's one more step and I'm over the finish line, that's when I explode.
Yeah,
but is
So
that when your
weird.
brain jumps in and goes, is that when maybe that's the moment the mind pops in and really you're out of your body?
Totally.
Yeah. It starts telling its opinion of your decision making so far.
Totally.
But is that also can this be counted into that as well? Like I have a real problem with, and I don't know if it's happening more because I've gotten older, I'm not sure, with pressing that submit button on anything. So even if I'm doing a purchase, and it could be a big purchase, like say like when I was buying my tickets to say to Australia. or even when I was doing my visa to Australia, that took me all day. And then to press that submit button, and a lot of times when I'm doing things, I will go backwards. You know, when you go backwards, you kind of slightly raise everything, you've got to start again, but I have to go backwards to double check. Or if I'm purchasing stuff like it, you know, it's very hard for me. If I'm paying for holidays, it's very hard for me. I'm going on that holiday because I've been I'm going on that holiday. But to press that button that says, right, I'm buying the tickets those days, oh my God, I could come back to that 2-3 days in a row, but not press the button.
I'm going to say that there's a potential that, one, emotionally you haven't found the right, like you haven't really felt into whether it's right or not, potentially. But to me, that could be a lot around mindset. Not even around mindset, fears. There's a lot of fears and things that trigger our mind. So we have these natural sort of fears that we tend to lean into a bit more based on our design, who we are as individuals. And so often when it comes to decision making, those little fears can raise their ugly head and send us into our mind. So your gut's like, yeah, I really want to go to Australia. But then all of a sudden, I mean, I don't know what the fear is, but let's just say it's fear of what that might bring, right? Or fear of not being able to achieve what you want to achieve, or maybe you've got some
fear of failure.
Fear of failure. Yeah, that's a great one, right? So that can, suddenly that little fear raises its head, and instead of us noticing it and going, oh, that's interesting, and then just still doing what the body felt right to do, we tend to go up into our heads. So fear of failure pops up, and then all of a sudden it's all of the reasons why you shouldn't do it. Oh, I can't do that. Or imagine if I do that and imagine if I waste all that money and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I think you're right, because I think with the visa thing, and I know everybody laughs, but I watch Border Patrol, and like it scares the living crap out of me.
Yeah,
like I'm there with them going through that. So me doing my visa, everything was resting on this visa, and if I didn't get this right, and because also, like I think I spoke to you guys, my middle name spelled different. It's spelled different on my birth certificate and my passport. And so I had to explain all of that, and I didn't want to get that all wrong and stuff like that, and I didn't know what I was going to be questioned on, and oh my God, this is going to stop me from getting into Australia, and I'm going to be sat in that little office that they stick you in, and they ask questions.
You're entirely unsuitable to criminal activity, Amanda.
I know, it's so funny.
Like I'm like thinking, yeah, it would have been the kilo of cocaine I was trying to sneak into the country that would have been giving me the stresses. Not I'm just joking, but you know what I mean. Like you're not even doing anything illegal.
It's very true.
Well,
because that's what happened when I actually did go through it. But
for everyone who doesn't know, the fears live on the spleen. I know Amanda has got the channel 57, I think it's to 10 or to 20. Like so I know that she definitely has, her a defined spleen and some of those fears potentially. So we can dig into that.
Is that what it is?
I mean, then we go right down into epigenetics, and what have you learned? Obviously as a youngster, and and it's often those things that we believe, or that that then trigger into those fears that we naturally have in our design. So it's a nice concoction of all sorts of things. But
I thought I was fearless. But I thought I was always fearless. No, but I did. I always thought I was fearless. You understand? But I think, and I do
hide behind trees.
Yeah, well,
you're never going to live that one down.
Well, then I guess it's our definition of fearless. Like I thought I was fearless, but obviously maybe I'm not. But
I feel like I'm fearless and avoidant. Yeah.
But it's like I said to you guys, when I did go through customs, I did declare that I was carrying all my sort of like minerals with me, and all my all my vitamins and stuff like that. And then because I was so agitated, like one of them was called like alpha lipoic acid or something like that. It's like I don't know, some kind of mineral vitamin. And when he asked me, well, and I said, well, I've got my vitamins, my vitamins, my minerals. And he's still looking at me, and I'm like, stuff that I take, it's like one's like an acid. It's an acid. And I'm thinking, oh, for the love of God, this guy's going to do me. I'm thinking, what the fudge? But I'm literally shitting my hands, because I'm thinking, I'm at the door. I could see the green line for freedom.
Amanda.
I can't.
haven't
I'm
got
Lie.
acid.
There's no like whole other rabbit hole. Please, I can't.
No, but
Okay.
is that to
please.
do with like who
No.
I am? Like you know, but it is to do with
That's
who
so
I
funny.
am.
All right.
You know,
We love
I am
you.
busting to ask. I just want to, like, I know this is not, well, whatever. I'm still busting to ask Amber this question, which is not on point at all. You know, Amber, I feel confident that you've had the experience that there are people that have learnt modalities like human design, but then sort of let that understanding kind of hijack their life. Have you seen that kind of thing when people are sort of like not participating in their lives because they've almost given over their power to these
Yeah,
charts?
and
I know
they're
this is
walking
not what
through
we're
and they're like,
talking
"This
about.
is this channel. This is this channel. This is my center.
And
this is this."
I'm like this because of this, and it feels like I'm
Yeah,
like,
but people do that in soul contracts, though. Does it drive you bonkers?
I agree. I
That
agree,
drives
and
me bonkers.
I'm
I
just
think
asking Amber how she handles it professionally
Yeah.
when people
Well,
start repeating
yeah.
this stuff back to her because it comes up in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I
So,
try.
yeah.
I mean, I guess I try and encourage that through people that come through working with me, not to do that. But when they do tend to go into that, I really remind them that we can't. It's not an excuse. It's not a. It's just an understand. It's really just an understanding of. It's like a car, right? Our car's built for doing certain things. It doesn't mean you go around pointing out that the car's got great brakes all the time, right? It's just that means if you need to stop, you've got that ability, right?
Yep.
So it's using it. It's an understanding of a practice of tuning
Yeah.
in rather than a label. And I see it all the time. Everyone, and there's a lot of
So
that. I
what
guess
language do you use? Like literally, I'm asking you almost as a mentor to role model that reflection back to people so they're not offended, but it's still effective. How do you say it?
Because I share with them that this is what they're designed. This is what how they're designed
Okay.
mechanically. How does that sit
Yeah.
with you? How do you notice that? How does that feel? If you're not sure, go out and play with it. See if that works. You know, it's not if I become dictative around it and prescriptive. It doesn't feel right anyway. It's like if someone tells me straight away that I can only do this. I mean, I know personally I'm probably going to do the opposite because I don't like to be told. But it's that thing of like noticing. Okay. Oh, yeah, I do have a gut. Sometimes you tell people they've got this natural gut response that they're designed for, and they're like, I don't have a gut. I said, well, just go and see if you can hear it. And then they might come back and go, oh, God, you know what? I do have a gut. I just haven't been listening. So it's more about letting other people find themselves. And it has to be, it has to not limit. It has to open doors. It has to help us. Otherwise, what's the point? I totally agree.
It's like,
Yeah.
Look, I have one of the.
Because I'll just say that I say that in answer to that, when it comes through the other version, say like subconscious, I always say, let it inform you and not define you.
Love it.
Yeah.
No, so
Like I now know that when I've got the fear of future gate kind of thing, but I experience it as in, oh, look at that. There's my future fear stuff coming up. I don't go, I've got a fear of the future, so I'm not planning the future.
right, it's
that
not
kind of thing.
mentality.
Yeah, it's an explanation of, oh, that's activated. Let's push on, kind of thing. And what's interesting is when we were talking with Yana, and there's another thing, which is what you should eat, and for whatever it's determination. And I was laughing when Yana was talking before because she examples her determination all the time because she's lucky enough to have open determination. So that's when you eat what you like, you have to eat what tastes good, and you won't eat anything else that you don't like. It's that simple, but you are still open to trying new things. And Lauren and I agree that is by far and away the best one to have. And that's what you have. And that's what you like. That's what your personality is like as well.
Is that what you would call a foodie?
Oh, I don't know, but you're definitely into fresh seasonal foods. I feel like I need, this is ridiculous me talking about it when we've got Amber here, but you're part of the sort of it's a second determination, isn't it? Open and closed.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, the things that I can remember. So yeah, the other thing about closed, and one of my friends is a closed, and he's the same as you. He will only eat fresh, natural foods. He's my age. He's never eaten ever, understand these words, ever, any fast food.
Wow.
He doesn't
well,
know he does not know what a McDonald's chip tastes like.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? He has
him.
no idea.
way
But
better off.
that's because he has this closed determination. So he will only eat fresh food, and it's just his natural thing. And I was talking to him the other day, and he was saying that he's thinking that he's just eating too much tuna at the moment. Like and I'm like, mate, you've got closed determination. If you feel like eating tuna and it's only tuna 3 times a day for 3 days, then that's what you are. You're in a tuna sort of frame of mind kind of stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, and I know that I think I have a good one. I have calm, which means that I need to eat in a calm environment and with my hands. And I've always known that kind of thing. But Amber, I'm sorry that I've hijacked this, which is ridiculous. Please tell us about determination.
No, I mean, this is great that you remember all these things, because they're just.
This is what you can learn in Amber's course.
But it's just learning generally about the fact that we've got these different ways of processing our body, digesting food so that it makes our brain optimally work. But it's also not just how we eat, but also how we process life, which I think is really interesting. So, the second one, which Jana was we were talking about, was being open to things. Are you open to them? Or are you closed to them? It's using that to maneuver yourself through the world around what comes up. So we have the most boring one, which is really about appetite and just eating one thing at a time, right?
That's me.
Infant love and gratitude to Lauren.
I'm with you on that one, Lauren. It's challenging because, we're so used to having mixed foods and mixed ingredients and things. But I know for me, and I don't know about you, Lauren, is just when I just eat really simple foods, try not too much with them. Sometimes simple's best. And it's the same with, for me, doing things. If I'm just focused on one thing at a time, I do it well. If I'm, and I'm not a manifesting generator, so I don't have that natural skill anyway, but I can have lots of things going on, but I need to focus. Ideally, one day I just focus on one thing. Doesn't happen often, but it's really good for us. So it's the same for you, Lauren, is just having that ability to just focus on one thing at a time. And then there's the open or closed to foods, which Jana is, right? Whether that's something you only take on or eat things that your body feels, oh yeah, that feels good, or oh no, I don't want that. And so really listening into that is probably, just an easy way to look at it. And then there's some people that it's about the temperature of food, because their bodies actually mechanically don't digest food over a certain temperature or under a certain temperature very well. It's not that they can't digest them, they don't get the maximum vitamins out of them. So that's hot and cold.
Is that like somebody who hot and cold? Or I was gonna say, is that like somebody who likes their food like
I think Amanda's hot. Amanda's hot.
No,
Amanda's hot off
no,
the top
I don't
of my head when I was looking at her chart.
Okay.
Do you have her chart?
Is it? Okay.
I'll get you up.
Well, I'll explain it while you're looking at it if you want. Sorry, Amanda. So hot is digesting foods that are body temperature or above are better for you if you're hot. So warmer temperatures, foods, anything that's body temperature or above, your body is able to digest better. For people that are the opposite with cold, they're actually better to have foods that are body temperature or less, so it's cooler. So they do well in cooler climates, being in places that are, their body actually operates better under cooling types of ingredients. I know it's just about the biology of the body is actually able to digest those things better. Did you find it out, Rachel?
Yeah, she is hot.
Oh.
Thank you.
And I'm in awe of my memory at this stage. Who am I thinking? I'm thinking I'm 55. I thought these days were over, that I could remember detail like this. So I'm stoked. But and I think Kylie's also, I think that she's consecutive, as I remember. So she's one of those people that literally needs to only eat one food at a time. As in, if she'll have a steak and then have an apple and then have a piece of bread, that kind of thing. Does that fit with you though, Kylie, when you eat like that? Does it work well for you? I know that you don't because you've got family and stuff.
I like a little bit of everything. And now I might have to go back to trying one thing at a time, which sounds really boring.
But in your plate of a little bit of everything, do you eat like all the carrots first and then you go to the
Yeah, I
meat?
eat all the shit food first, and then I save the good
No
shit for last.
way.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm so
Don't you
wired for
chop and
work
eat a
reward
bit,
like that.
add a bit to the fork? Don't you add bits to the
No,
fork?
she's
And
not
then if
too.
I'm adventurous,
She's not
I
meant
will
to,
add the
Amanda.
shit and the
That's what I
good
mean.
stuff
Like
together.
you'd be if you did that, you'd be
Yeah.
conditioning her, Amanda. You'd be a conditioning person trying to get
Yeah,
her to do something
Amanda.
that she's not.
Yeah. So for her, it's better to have one thing at a time, and then her brain
right.
That is
it
hilarious.
functions more optimally, essentially.
Wow.
Functional.
Look at
It
that.
just means you have the most simplest digestive system. So one thing, you know,
We're
it's like
basic,
sometimes
Kylie.
I have. Sorry, we are. Lauren
I don't
and
think
are
I've
as well.
ever been accused of being anything
Amber,
so
I want
horrific as being basic.
for today.
We have
How
primal
is this
digestion.
resulting is that?
Primal
But
digestion.
let's just cover the digestions, because what's really interesting about human design, and also for someone with me with my particular human design, what I find difficult is that there's no, what am I trying to say? It's difficult to make patterns in the information. So like in human design, there's like 6 types of eating. So there's the basic eaters that we're just talking about, and then there's the fresh eaters, and then the feel, all that kind of thing. But in them, there's 2 binaries that also don't sort of make sense. So, well, not make sense, they don't make a pattern. And so you have to sort of learn every single bit of information as a sort of individual unit. I think that's what makes it so difficult for me, because I am very good at pattern recognition, and that's very good when you're learning heaps of stuff.
I'm going to say, Rachel, that actually there is a pattern when you look at the left and the right arrows, which I'm not going to talk about because that's going to confuse everybody. But there is, you actually can find patterns in it, which does make it easier. But it's knowing it a little bit deeper in that way.
Okay.
So
you need to do an advanced course, Laura, Amber.
I was just thinking we would book her for, to go through that bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one other than after the thirst, which Amanda was, which was the hot and cold, is really about touch. Some people are better to digest better when they're in a very calm place where everything feels calming. And the opposite end of that, which is in the same category, is what we call nervous. But when there's things going on, I look at my brother, and I go around to his house. He's got the TV running. He's walking around. He's eating. Things are going on. To me, it's chaos. But it actually is really helpful to have that going on for his digestion, and that's natural for him. So that nervousness actually helps the food process. And also life. Like I look at him and that's his life, but actually it serves him. He does pretty well from it.
I always think of nervous people standing up. There's people that stand up and pick at things at benches and then walk off and do the laundry and then come back and pick again and then go and talk on the phone and come back and pick again, and the music's on and the television's on and they're looking at their phone.
Yeah, and it would be so easy to judge that as the wrong thing to do. But what I love about this is it just shows that it works for them. It's different, mechanics for everybody.
And there's a reason why they do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow, that's fascinating.
It was honestly the biggest gift of human design was Amber's teaching,
but
and
it's also
driving it home that we're all differentiated. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as children, we're often told, "Don't do that. Don't walk around and eat your dinner." I'm an alternating, which is like me with like Lauren and Kylie, with one food at a time, but just alternating. And as a kid, I used to that's what I did. I just wanted to eat all the peas, right? I'm English, right? Brought up, eat all the, the lovely typical beautiful English meal. But Mum would always say, "No, put 2 things on your fork. Eat them together, mash them up." So
you back them up, you back it up.
That's it. Come on. So we get conditioned to be different, and it's only when we try it we go, okay, well, what happens if I do just follow this? And it's always just interesting what shows up. The 5th one I did is sound. It's like noise. High sounds, low sounds. So the other one's more of a feeling. This is more of actual sound. So being around, hearing things really loud and in the area is really useful versus someone that really needs very, very quiet, low frequencies. And then the
I
last
thought
one is light. What's that?
I thought when
Mm.
you said sound, I thought you were saying like crunchy food versus soft food.
No.
And I was like, oh no.
No,
Well,
no,
I've got a
that's
friend, yeah, and he is low sound, and his 2-year-old son is high sound, as far as so that's going to be a forever compromise.
yeah. Well, I could say that, you know, we say that this is the science of differentiation. We're supposed to be different. But when, you know, back in the day, you know, hundreds of years ago, we all used to sleep and eat all in the same room, right? Like, you know, massive families all doing the same thing. And it's why we didn't get to that uniqueness. And now we're in an age where we've got the ability to have less in the household, more separate rooms. I mean, I won't go into the whole thing of sleeping alone, that being good for you from a mechanical place of, you know, of how we operate, but also eating. You know, it becomes quite separatist when we all have different ways of eating, and then we actually enact that. You know, mum's over in the quiet room, someone is over there in front of the TV, someone's there just having one pea at a time.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
it
eat
becomes.
carrots.
But to kind of digress us, this whole sleeping thing that you just mentioned, is that part of human design?
It is, but we should finish
Well,
the determination because there's one more.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
there's
but
only
then we'll go
one
into
more.
the sleep. We'll go into sleep.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's only one more. The last determination is about light, actual light. So some people are really, their body can digest and process food when they're around direct sunlight. In other words, they're out in the sun, they eat best in the daytime. Natural light is really good for them in their digestive process. Or the opposite, which seems strange, but it's there, right? It's what we call non-direct light or indirect light, where it's better to eat at night. You know, those people that love to just eat at night, for some people, that's really good for them. Or to be not eat in direct light, to be around more artificial light so they're not in that direct sun. So there's a lot of differences, right? Really 12 different ways.
And then you can see how all the advice out on social media, like there is never one answer. It's, you know, there is one answer. There's your answer, as long as you've got the information about your unique design. But nothing, blanket statements just don't work.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Can we get into the sleep thing? Because I really have a bone to pick with it when they tell you a child should sleep on their own. But there's a lot of different countries and different cultures where they all co-sleep. And now research is starting to show that your child should actually be co-sleeping with you until about 7 years old. It is the best health, mental, emotional, cognitive outcome for the child. And there's a benefit to the parent too.
No, you're right. Not
Because
happening.
when my daughter sleeps with me in my bed, you know, and people want to judge it, I'm like, she is happy she is just so happy there, as am I. There's such a huge dopamine and like just bond that gets formed. And so, not that I care about what people say, but still, like, it's a thing. So I would love if we could just kind of dive into the sleep thing in connection to human design, I guess.
I can start it in connection to human design, and then I'm sure you'll go where you go with it. It's two things that come to mind. We talk, and we're talking more about as adults to be our full uninterrupted. See, when we sleep next to each other, when we're close together, we are impacted. Our design is impacted. The frequency of who we are is impacted by the other. And that depends on how we're designed and how we hook up and things. So I know for me, sleeping next to my husband is like sleeping next to, you know, a train that's like I wake up exhausted. It's just, and it's not even that he's making noise. It's just the feeling, right? So that's what happens. Some of us, the connection is a little easier at night. Some of it, it's intense, but that's definitely impactful. You know, as an adult, when we're on our own, we are able to process. When we're sleeping alone, our body is able to process the days, whatever it is that we've got to process. We have time to get rid of all the things that we pick up from others. And so we get what we call more alignment in a human design sense. But when it comes to children, and this is just there is nothing technical that I can share on this, except that, as you know, up until 7 years old, as you probably all know, is when we've got that young people, they're like being hypnotized at that time, that time of their life, right?
Like sponges,
everything that they are taking into their aura, they're like sponges, impacts,
Yeah.
right? So everything that we share and on that energy and an energetic level with them is going to shape how they think about themselves and all of that, so that it might impact us when we're older. So I think from a human design standpoint, it will depend on what that environment is like as well, about what that shaping and that closeness does and I'm just talking again from a human design impacting at a mechanical level there. I'm sure other people have.
Lauren, you have our charts up?
I have, yes.
Okay, when it comes to sleep,
Well,
can you see where we land?
Well,
Or is it
I
not
don't
that
have your
simple?
sleep charts up. And so when we go to sleep, we get a whole new chart, and which is a whole separate thing, right? But in human design, like generally speaking, Yana, you're a generator. I think your daughter's a manifesting generator, right? So, I mean,
Yep.
if we look at your sleep charts, that's a different story. But like, correct me if I'm wrong, Amber, generally speaking, if you're a generator type sleeping with a generator type, it's better than, say, a manifestor or a projector or a reflector sleeping with a generator type, because the generator gives off so much energy, and the other type, can really, as Amber said, feel it all.
Oh,
If you
that's interesting.
don't have a sacral, which is reflector, manifestor, and projector, then it's generally very difficult to sleep next to somebody that has
A generator
sacral
type. Yeah.
energy. But Ra, who is the human design dude, does believe that nobody should sleep with another person. As in,
Because I know
that you should sleep by yourself.
Like, I know my sleep
And
chart,
there's a lot
I'm
of
a
people that
reflector,
believe that.
right? So I know in my sleep chart, I'm a reflector. So this is a whole there are different levels of this, but the basic information is, if you're a non-sacral, don't sleep in the same bed as a sacral. But if you then get into deeper levels with your sleep charts, generally speaking, like I'm a reflector, my husband's a reflector, but then you have gates that connect and make channels, and then you become other things. So basically, the person who sleeps next to you, their energy will affect you while you sleep. And if you want the most optimized energy, sleep alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And without getting technical, I guess it's just thinking about frequency. It's like, how does someone make you feel? How do you feel when you wake up? If you're sleeping well every night and you feel good and you feel like life is, you're attracting and you're operating from a really great place, then it probably doesn't matter who you're sleeping with or not sleeping with, in a sense. But if you're finding, that you're really struggling, you're not getting good sleep, you don't feel, it could be that maybe the person you're sleeping next to isn't, not that they're doing it consciously. There's nothing wrong with the person or yourself. It's just that you might benefit from trialing some nights on your own and seeing how that improves. That's what I usually say to people, because it does depend, without even knowing the technicality of hooking up and how we impact each other. It's just, how are you feeling? That's a really good judgment call. I mean, sorry.
Sorry, go on. No, sorry. Go
Oh,
on.
no, I was just going to say, as a young person, I was lucky as a reflector. I'm like a sponge. So my whole first 7 years, my parents were lovely and I needed nurturing, and they gave me that. That was wonderful. But it was really hard because there was a lot of enmeshment in that family energy as a young person that probably took a lot of my life to get over, even though it was love. It was pure love and care. So I think as young people, we've also got to look at what that does to us energetically. Sometimes, if it's a good environment, it can be healthy, but it can still give us things to work with. What does the child need, and what are they feeling? Manifestors, for example, and I know that's what Kylie is. She really needs to feel particularly young manifestors. They need to feel independent. They need to feel like they call their own shots. They need to be their own bosses in their own way. So if they're getting mollycoddled, is that a word? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. But if they're getting really, over, that's not healthy for them. They need to have choice. They need to have space. So I think, again, it comes down to us as individuals. There is no one answer for anybody, and I think that's the interesting part about it.
It just goes so deep.
Oh, and honestly, human design, you could just drown in it, and you could drown 1,000 deaths in it over and over and over again. It's endless. And I am kind of devastated, Amber, that you don't seem to be open about doing an advanced course, just saying. But anyway, cool.
Rachel, did you remember just saying that we need to redo the first one?
I know, but I'm like, I really do want to understand the transits, and I do want to understand the tones, like even just transits and tones or something. Anyway,
I mean,
but yeah,
I
it
happily,
is.
I
We'll put
happily
that-
talk about those things deeper.
Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
committing to doing more work is my body's going.
I get
"No,
it.
sorry."
No, yeah. Anyway,
Are there any more authorities that we haven't covered?
There are,
Okay.
particular. Yeah, let me. So we talked about this, the gut, which is the sacral authority, and then there's the emotional, which is the emotional waves that you all have. The next biggest one is spleen. And so this is only, you've got to be a manifestor or a projector to have this. And this is really in the moment, intuitive hits about what's right or what's not. And it's all about keeping you safe. So sometimes, it's like you won't know until that moment. Are we going to this thing? Yes, let's go. So it's very much intuition. It's not so much a gut. It's about, it's almost like a feeling about whether something is energetically aligned and healthy for you or not. So I don't know if I'm imagining Kylie might be that.
Kylie's got emotional authority.
Oh, that's right. You're all emotional. I beg your pardon,
We are.
Kylie.
Yeah.
So nobody here, but it's very much in the moment decision, right? And you have to make that decision now because the decision might change, right? It's about right in that moment what's right. So these are people that really need to operate in the now, very spontaneous in the now. And then the other authorities, and I won't go through them each specifically, but there is what we call ego projected authority, ego manifested authority, self projected authority, and some people say no authority or mental authority. But basically, what that is, and that applies to manifestors and projectors, is that there is the way that you make decisions is really about voicing and talking and bouncing how you process something off others. So again, nothing spontaneous so much as, if I've got one of these authorities and I need to make a decision about whether I'm going to take the job that we talked about earlier, it's really you're talking, right? So I might go and talk to you all. I might sit there and just talk about this trip that I want to do. For some people, it's when they talk, they feel within them, oh yeah, this feels good. As I'm talking about it, this feels right, or it doesn't. For some people, it's bouncing it off, listening to you all respond that I hear what's right for me. For some people, it's just, I need to let the words come out. And as they come out, that's right. So you'll find, and this is, where it's like, oh, I'm going on this trip. Oh, I've just said it. I'm going. It's happened, right? So there's this sort of nuance in there, but it's very much about using your voice and only hearing it as it comes out or only hearing it as it bounces off.
Yeah.
Interesting. I know.
So much.
So anyone listening to this, for making decisions, find out your authority in human design, read up about it, get a reading, do Amber's course, whatever it is, but then start to, I guess, experiment and play with it and see where it leads you.
Yeah, definitely.
and how you feel.
Yeah.
More aligned
it.
or less aligned.
Okay,
Trusting yourself.
I have one last question before we finish up. Is there one favorite? I don't know.
You can just say no already.
Okay. Is there one that you're like, oh, I love seeing this one in a chart, or just something like your favorite gate or your favorite something?
Goodness me, that's a big question because there's so many places. I love seeing it. No, I think the answer is no, because what I do love is I love seeing combinations of things. You can see when I look at a chart, and this is because obviously I know how to read charts quite, obviously very well. When I see someone's chart, that I can see their potential. And by the way, this is without going down a rabbit hole, of course. There's different ways that we see. And I am designed to see potential, right? That's just without going again down the rabbit hole. So for me, when I see someone's chart, I can see their potential, and not in a way of, oh, this is what you could be, but you're not meeting it. It's just that here are these gifts. Here is this beautiful person that you're designed to be. And if you're able to trial, listening to your gut in the moment or whatever it is that you're designed to do, there's this ability potentially that you could really shine in your gifts. And that's what I
harness that. Yeah.
Harness it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, seeing the potential. I mean, who doesn't want to get a reading where the person reading the chart
I'm
is
not joking.
searching
That's what I feel like doing. I'm like, oh, maybe I
right.
need to go and get another reading with
Yes,
Amber, and I want
totally.
to absolutely spell out my potential.
right, totally. Okay, Amber, why don't can you let people know, like, if they want a reading or to look at your course and all the lovely stuff you offer, what is available and where they can find it?
Sure. Look, the easiest way is to go to my personal website, amberclements.com. And that will direct you to. I also have the Australian College of Human Design, but that you can find that all on amberclements.com, and anything else I do. But yeah,
We'll put the link
Okay,
below.
I love it. Yes.
Thank you.
Amber, as always, it is such a pleasure to have you. I'm so happy that I personally got something nice. Again, I feel like Daniel now, who's like writing something. It was such a pleasure. You really just your knowledge and your understanding of human design and how simplified you make it literally makes even someone like me who knows nothing about human design really feel like I understand it. And it's such a gift because every piece of information we can get, it's like a little nugget we could drop in our bucket that really helps us, right? And it helps shift us, and hopefully we can make a change or or ride the wave of that feels really good for us. And we know it's like helping us instead of hindering or all those things. So we appreciate you for that. For anybody listening, if you are interested in a reading, a healing, a guided meditation session, a light body activation, if you want Rachel's review on how awesome Amber's human design course is, go
We're
ahead
very happy
to
to give it.
yoursoulwisdomshow.com. If you want to join the collective, also go to yoursoulwisdomshow.com. We thank you for allowing us to create this beautiful space, and we hope you have a blessed day. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Rachel.